Yes, good morning, everybody. Such a privilege to have this day. Finally, after so many years, today I think is like I was telling Kiran Ben, it's like pran pratishta of this building, and we have created with a lot of love and joy. Can we have this a little bit higher somehow? It's okay. I remove this just for a moment. It's okay. That's good enough. Yeah, it's okay. Doesn't matter. We'll get on. So, as I was saying, today is the Pratishta of this building. We have worked 13 years since the journey started. 2010, uh, I met HP first time in Auroville, and you will see why it has taken so long. But actual construction time was about 4 years. And as I was sitting in meditation today, I was thinking that all the difficulties just fell, and I felt I'm sailing through. That's why it's called Sail Sea, because I felt that these 13 years we just sailed through with the grace of Mother. Sorry for being emotional, but it is it is amazing to see something come to life from nowhere. In fact, I just start. Okay, this is the. I wanted to put this because this is the first sketch I did in 2000, maybe 11, 12, and it looks like a child's, drawing. But for me, it kind of, I don't know where it came from because I was never doing with crayons things at that time. But it actually tells me everything about this building, which was kind of trying to come down. Does it have a marker? Okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's not there. Go back. Doesn't matter. It's okay. So yeah, this was like this a ramp, you see in the purple, and you see this building in water, and you see there are pause points in between. And I just picked it up after so many years while I was preparing this presentation, and I thought it kind of fit, this catching on to something and holding on to it very tenaciously, not giving up, the dream and also the seed idea that I had in those days. Next, yeah. I just, yeah, I forgot to say that I'm from Auroville and I'm living there since 33 years. I have a small studio. Actually, Ahmedabadni chu. And this journey in Auroville has been just amazing. So, these 33 years, it's been just this doing a building like this has been a privilege for me. So when I started designing, we were looking at what does this building represent to Oro University and what they call the Earth space. So it's a 100-acre campus, and I was thinking that there are four needs, as HP was already saying. So there are the physical needs, the vital needs, the mental needs, and then the psychic. And I immediately understood that this center is going to be like the psychic being of Oro University of Earth Space, and that this we used to call it the Integral Yoga Center in those days and not Sail C. And it kind of spoke to me like this is a little, a special building in a university which you hardly would ever find in a university. It's very special because it is for Sri Aurobindo's and Mother's yoga, and it is integral yoga. And therefore, I felt that this was a big responsibility from the beginning. The total building is about 30,000 square feet, and we have an equal amount of landscape. So we like to do interiors, architecture, and landscaping together, because we feel then the whole building is an ensemble and it is something that comes together fully. And it's very important that the building rests on this earth in a proper manner. Therefore, landscaping is very important. Like Naraji was mentioning, you cannot imagine this building without the landscape. And we have about 2 acres of land, which we have fully kind of landscaped and utilized to create these surroundings. This was my first, actually, this is the leitmotif of all my works. But for this building in particular, it was very important. It is a line from Sri Aurobindo which says, "A simply rich and beautiful life. Simple but not austere or barren." This is very important. We can do simplicity, but it must have a richness to it. Rich yet not ostentatious or flouting. We don't have to stand there and shout for attention. So this building is very understated. If you see in the way it is laid and the way the proportions of this building are, it is a building which is something you have to discover. It's beautiful, but not shouting for attention, as I already said. So it's a research in beauty. I really feel that the two aspects of Mahalakshmi and Mahasaraswati is something we have tried to realize. This is the master plan of those days. Now it is slightly changed. And you can see that Sail C was here in the center. And those are the academic and the hostel buildings. And the gray ones are the ones that have not yet been built. And we changed the location about 5 times. So you can see that was the first location. It was right on the axis of the entrance to the academic building. And then it changed to that location, which was kind of towards the apartments, and we had a big green area in front. Then it changed to this location. We were changing sometimes because we had certain land parcels which had to be, then accordingly we had to start the building. We couldn't just start on 2 different land parcels. And then at one point it was right in the center. And for each of this, we would make some changes. But I never let go of that original idea. And luckily, HP also understood the strength of that idea. And then finally, we came to this location, which is the present location. And now, this is the present plan of the whole. Now, is it still called Earth Space? Right. So Earth Space, and so we have the academic buildings, the hostels, and then there is a whole new development that is happening around the courtyard, the Marriott, and then there are more convention centers, a golf course, etc. is being built, and we are right in the center. And it's amazing, we never, we thought, where should we be placed? And I always feel finally you find the place that it's really meant to be, Now, this building has also within it, there are 4 different zones. We designed according to that. So, discourse zone is this, the satsang area. We have the library, exhibition space, and orientation room, which is the educational zone, which is when you enter, there is an orientation room. There is a library on the top here, and there are exhibition space as well. Then there is the interactive zone, which is the garden, which is right here in the front, the Zen garden, we call it now, and also the roof terrace, where we expect that people can be having many activities with the green roof. And then, of course, the most important is the meditation spaces. We have created two different kinds of meditation space. One which is in the nature, and another one is more inward looking. So you will, I hope you will experience when you have time in between to visit the whole building. But I'm just kind of giving you an overview of that. And this, as I said, very important is the landscape. So what we've done is actually we've created a bio pond all around the building, and that holds a water body which will have fish and plants. A lot of them, as Naraji said, we hope we will see more and more lotuses and lilies here, but a lot of them are from Aurobindo, the plants. And what we wanted to do was to create seasonal natural ponds, which you saw when you entered. The idea was that the land was a little bit low lying when we got the land. So we said instead of filling it up, we will use it for creating a rainwater harvesting area. So what you see there, the seasonal pond, is what you see now, which is filled with water. And these are just some models. We did lots and lots of models at every time when we had a new concept. We would do models. This particular model is a final model. It is under the staircase. You can see it. So we have planned for solar panels. We have planned for rainwater harvesting. And we have tried to put whatever in terms of what we thought was kind of sustainable, ecological, was possible within the program that was given to us. So these are the different views. I will explain the petal gardens. Yeah, different models. You can see here in the middle is one of the earlier models where we had a different kind of slightly different concept. But you have these walls in front, and I will explain why I have these kind of walls when you enter through the bridge, as you might have experienced. So this was the plot that was given to us. And as I said, it was all just green, a lot of water, like this whole area is quite marshy and collects a lot of water. So we had to be quite careful with the foundations and also how to collect the water in a way that it doesn't disturb the surroundings. Okay. So this is the idea behind the wall. That was, I showed you my first sketch. The idea was this is a building that has to be discovered, like Sri Aurobindo's yoga. It has to be something from within that has to come. So I felt that this kind of curiosity should be aroused. It's like a little, jewel in the middle of this sales of Auro University, and it should be hidden, and it should be very low key and very simple in its scale, in the way, the approach, and the materials. As you will see, this building is just made of 4 5 materials. When you see the finishes, it's very simple. It's just kota, and you have concrete, you have brickwork, and just glass. That's it, and some wood. So it is a very simple building in terms of its approach, but very rich in terms of its details and the concept behind it, the meditation spaces and the aspects of the four mother aspects. So here you have the bridge, and you have these walls kind of which create a play, and it arouses a sense of curiosity, what lies beyond it. And the bridge is like a journey. A bridge is always a transition into something else. So the idea was you leave behind everything and you cross the bridge and you go into a different space. That is what this workshop is all about today, the retreat. It's about the inner space and the outer manifestation of the same. So this is the water body. We were creating the rainwater harvesting, and here you can see the approach. Now you might ask why the bridge is not straight and why this bridge has this bend. There's so many ways I can explain this. The life is never straight. There are always little, curves and impediments in the way, but you have to go on. And the other idea was that you don't want this strong axis. It's like Matrimandir. Matrimandir deserves that because it's a building which is at the center of Auroville, and it has this very strong axis when you go to Matrimandir. But here I didn't feel that I wanted this building to be that I wanted it to be discovered. I wanted it to be low key. So I didn't want also the approach to be something that makes you feel small. The idea of an axis which is very long and a building at the end of it, it's like kind of propels you to go to it, but at the same time it also overpowers you. It's a very strong linearity. So I wanted to break that linearity. Of course, you can also take a pause there. There are benches to sit and enjoy the garden. Sorry, it's not working so well, but yeah. And these are just some ideas. So this is the satsang hall where we are. Upstairs is the library. And there's the garden here in the front, so you can have outdoor events if you want. This is the Zen garden, as we call it. This is a place where I thought would be a place where children and visitors would come, the students, and would. This is a place for quiet conversations on Mother and Sri Aurobindo. We feel that we will inspire them with the space and with what they read around, and that they can have a place to sit in the open. Actually, in this building, wherever you are, if you will notice in this building, wherever you are, you will always see nature. And I feel nature is our biggest teacher and our biggest nurturer and our biggest inspiration. And of course, this, some of you might have seen, this is the meditation hall. It's kind of at the end of the building. It's a culmination of a journey. And here we have put the crystal, and there's water flowing around on the gold tiles, which we have got made in Auroville. And these are the four petal meditations. So this was the idea. We thought in Matrimandir there are the 12 petal chambers for meditation, and it was always my inspiration to look towards Matrimandir when I was designing this building. So we said, because Mother has specified the four mother powers, and each one has a shape and a color. And still today, I'm trying to figure out why she gave a shape and a color. Maybe some of you who have studied more than I have, Mother and Sri Aurobindo, will be able to tell me, because it's a very important thing. Why did she give a shape and a color to each of these names of the mother? So I tried to embody them in these four petals. This was a meditation that was supposed to be in a confined space and a smaller space. I will tell you a little bit about the story of this. This is the garden which is in the petals, which I hope you will see with there is a disc from the golden disc from the Matri Mandir. So, there are always echoes of Auroville here, of Mother and Sri Aurobindo. So this was our first sketches of how we wanted the petal courtyard to be. And in fact, in the earlier days, it was even underground. So these are the four powers. And each of them, I've just very succinctly put wisdom, energy, perfection, harmony. There's much more to be said about each of these mother powers. And also, she has specified the directions. This is not for here, but for Auroville, it is a very important aspect that she has given the south, north. So each gate entrance of Matri Mandir is as per these mother powers. The west one has a blue triangle, and each part represents something different. To embody this was a big work. Like how do we bring this into the spaces that we are creating? And our first idea was to make it like a cave, because whenever we think about meditation, we think about caves and underground and silence and like a cocoon. And we had done all the things, and then after 6 years or something, 2015 or something, Saumil said, this is not allowed in Surat. We cannot have anything underground because there is no law. There is a law for it that we can't have any habitable spaces underground. So we had to change the whole concept. and we brought them above the ground, and we created a courtyard around it. And these are the four, how we try to interpret those four shapes, and made meditation artwork on which to concentrate on with the colors that mother has given. These were made in Aurobindo, stainless steel, and then powder coated. And similarly, we also made the writing there with the glass, which is made also in Aurobindo with the colors of the mother symbol, made in glass there in Orville. And then also these four, I'll just show you the next slide. This is how they were made, and then this is the place. So please, whenever you have time, do go and sit there. It's a very different experience, different colors, like in the petals, and you have something to concentrate your attention on, and on the mother, one of the mother powers. So this is the Bhumi Puja, which happened in February 2019. And I think this is a very important aspect which we have not lost in India in spite of all our modern architectural studies. Is one thing that is across India that happens is when you start a building, you do a puja. And after many years of studying Vastu Shastra, I realized that this is a very important thing. Like today's Pran Pratishtha, that day was the day we asked all the forces that have been on this land to allow us to build here, because this land has seen so much history over centuries which we don't know about. And the puja is kind of asking for permission to start this building and let it be harmonious. And we ask for the grace of Mother and Aurobindo. That day also Naradji had read Savitri, I had also read Savitri, and it was a beautiful small ceremony. JP was still there, and we had a nice start to this project. And this is how, just showing you a few photos, how much labor has gone into this to make this come. It is not, it when you do something to the earth, it is always a very difficult process, because we are touching the mother earth, and because whatever we do, we will be destroying some part of the earth. There is nothing like sustainability. I don't believe in these hyped up words, which sustainable and ecological and all. Whatever you do, when you make a building, you're destroying the earth somewhere. So we have to be very conscious in what we do, and we have to always ask for grace that we do the right thing. Just some photos we'll skip through because I think we run short of time. So this is the bridge. We had a nice, good contractor, good structural engineer from Pondicherry who helped us with the structural design. And of course, the great team that we have here, without it, it wouldn't have been possible to do this. This is the petal courtyard with the gold disc, and here you see the landscape starting to take shape. At the back, you see that long building, that is the Marriott, and on the right hand side is the academic buildings. The photo is taken from the hostel buildings. And the landscape part. So landscaping was a big, huge task in this project. It was a very important aspect, as I already said. And from the beginning, Naraji has been kind of helping us, supporting us. And we've tried to put trees that are indigenous, that are flowering, that don't require water, whatever we could do in the best manner possible, including trying to keep the soil, which is very fertile here compared to what we have in Orville. And so this was a lot of work to get everything going. But we had a great team here also, which was looking after the landscape. These are some of my drawings, and I had to communicate all this from Auroville. So during the whole building time, I have come here 12 times. This is the 13th time. 12 times I have not planned, but 12 times I have come, and I think that's pretty okay for 4 years. And it's because we had this great team here under Saumil. All the people who are standing back there, they are just amazing. Thank you, Ravi, Harshil, Dhananjay, and Dhirubai. But of course, I've written at the end, but I just feel like it was such a good working together. We managed so well, and we had lots of arguments, lots of times when I would insist on things, and Saumil would come back with his ideas. But always it was on a very respectful level, and I really must say I enjoyed this process. This was the this was the team that came to lay the stones, and it was a big thing because come on, yeah. And we take it for granted in Auroville because actually all the lessons that I learned in Matrimandir Gardens when we did the Garden of the Unexpected, where I had an amazing team from Matrimandir which was doing all the laying of the rocks, and here we had to start from scratch because Samil said, "Where will we get the rocks from?" And we found quarries here, and we found people here to do it. I know these men are from Bihar, I think, and they would come. We showed them a little bit, and then they were so the last 4 5 trips were just for the landscaping because to lay all these rocks was a big work. And then oh, they were not from Bihar; they're from Maharashtra, right? Maharashtra. And this also landscaping when I realized water bodies. Because first thing when I did water, when I said water bodies, actually said mosquitoes. And I said, no, there'll be no mosquitoes because we'll have fish in them. But then I realized what a difficulty it is to get the plants here because our water bodies in Auroville are like crystal clear. You can see the bottom. And we're known for that, particularly me and Popo, my husband. We are known for doing good water bodies in Auroville. And then here I was like, where do I get the plants? I thought aquariums people will have. No, I had to send plants. These are some simple plants which we got from Surat, but otherwise I had to start getting plants from Auroville. Um, and this is how we discovered that we can send them from in thermocol boxes, which I got from Bread and Chocolate because they have to send their chocolates every time. It was a big discovery for me because it was made it so easy. The first ones were in cardboard boxes and they were all wet and it was difficult, but they reached here safely. And then the last part is about the interiors. So for each of the things that you see here, including the furniture, the doors, the windows, all these sound proofing, we had lots and lots of drawings that we did. So this is for the main door. And this is all the works for the calligraphy which Popo has done in Auroville, and then the chairs and the tables. And, these are the lamps that we got made in Radiance by Guy in Auroville. So they're handmade brass lamps, and we did lots of prototyping for each of this. There was a whole process, and then HP would come to Auroville, and then we would have discussions, and then he would approve it, and we would make prototypes, and then finally everything would be made. So it was a big process. So these are all the furniture is done in Auroville as well. This is the reception where we are supposed to put all the cell phones. So I forgot to say that one of the big things here in this building is you remove your shoes like we do everywhere in Auroville, and you remove your rucksacks and your purses and everything. You leave your physical baggage, but you also leave your psychological baggage if you can. Today we didn't manage to get you all to leave your bags, but this is a trial run. But eventually everybody, that's why we have made places for cell phones and for bags to be left outside and shoes to be left, so that you enter the building light and you don't get distracted by other things. And so especially I was thinking of students. So all this was designed, and then we have the 12 qualities of the mother which we want to put up, still coming around the Zen garden, which is going to be displayed there with different colors, etc. That is still there's some things like Naraji says still pending. There are lots of things to be done, small touches. The tiles in this were made in Oro University, some by the students and some by their teacher, Juhika, who is here. Thank you, Juhika. So that was also very nice because we tried to involve the students here in Oro University to do some of the work. And then this is the last part, the sensorium, which is still coming. Sensorium is a place, like I said, this building also, I tried to put all the five senses, because how to bring about the enhancing of the five senses through architecture. And that's why walking barefoot is very important, because your feet are actually, everything, your feet has all the acupuncture, acupressure, so you actually feel the different textures. So this, in this area, we are going to do with sound. So we are going to have from Auroville, Aurelio from Swaram. We have ordered like seven different sound instruments, and this is going to still come there. And this is one of the. Can you play the video? Is it possible? Yeah.
You have a moment of you bring it out. And so one instrument it could be
So these are still coming here, and I hope everybody will have a chance to enjoy what happens within when you do this. And I think we are going towards the end of the presentation. Huh. The last part is the meetings, the endless meetings. So many people have contributed to this project. And as you can see here at the bottom, we have HP, JP, Geetaben, all of them discussing. On the top, there is Popo, whom we always used to, have different architects coming and giving us feedback. There's Narachi. There are a lot of consultants whom we would meet. And these are our meetings in the Dome office here with Amit Bhai. Amit Bhai is not here. He's the maverick. He's the guy for go-to man for everything. And I always used to get very upset with him because he'll find a quick fix solution which will not work. But he's an amazing person. Yeah, all these are our meetings which, would take hours, and we would make notes and we would follow up. It's a lot of work that goes something when you do something from so far, but even any building will take much time. These are all the site visits at different times during COVID. We went through COVID on this building, and we had site visits during that time as well. We had also a change of contractors in between, which was a very difficult thing to do. It's not good to change contractors, but somehow managed to get people again to finish it, and I think we managed in the end well. Yeah, this is one of my favorite spots to sit. This is the where on the ledge over there. I see a lot of children sitting there on the steps and enjoying the breeze there. You have to see this building. Only few places are air conditioned. We didn't want to do everything air conditioned. We want natural light and natural ventilation. And this is a very important slide because I really would like to thank each one. I'm not going to take their names, but this has been a really amazing teamwork, and I really don't feel that I should take the credit. Thank you.